Happy Monday, everybody. We are back with another chapter breakdown of chapter 1085 of One Piece, The Death of Nefertari Cobra. Spoiler alert, Cobra is gone. He has passed, and we were all expecting it. We knew what was going to happen, but we had no idea how. And in this chapter, we find out the truth of what happened with Nefertari Cobra. And we also find out that Vivi has got a big D. Vivi's got a D. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And I gotta say, that was surprising. I was not expecting her to be a member of the D clan. A lot happens in this chapter. I assume all of you have read it. All of you have seen videos about it, so I'm not going to touch up on every little detail. Just a few things that I find very interesting about this chapter. For one, I want to talk about parallels. I want to talk about some of the parallels with Imu Sama, who I personally believe is actually Queen Lily herself. I think Imu is Queen Lily for several reasons. One of them, the parallels with Vivi. If we look at the first panel where we get a full body shot of Vivi, there's a lot of parallels there. She's on a small throne, a chair, and she's surrounded by 5 devil fruit users. I don't know if all of them are devil fruit users, but we got Khalifa, we got Jabra, who are confirmed devil fruit users. And in the background, we do see Bluno with his horns. That looks very similar to the horns we saw earlier when the Gorosei transform into their shadow beast silhouettes. There's one with, big horns that almost looks like Bluno if he turned into a giant monster, right? So I think the parallels are there. I think that Imu Sama is confirmed to be part of the Nefertari family, most likely Queen Lily herself. Now, I also think that Queen Lily ate a very, very powerful mythical zone fruit, maybe similar to Sun God Nika, but maybe some kind of moon devil fruit, moon god, darkness god, I don't know. We already know that Blackbeard ate the darkness fruit, Gecko Moria ate the shadow fruit, so it can't be those, but I do think that that Imu Sama ate some kind of devil fruit that is fully awakened and actually took her over. And that is why I believe that Imu Sama was shocked and triggered when she found out that Nefertari Cobra knew about the D, that Queen Lily was actually Nefertari D Lily. And I think that is information that can never be released to the world. I think that if the world ever finds that out, it will truly turn upside down, that the, enemy, the greatest enemy of the celestial dragons is actually Queen of the world. That is something that can never be found out. Maybe even the Gorosei weren't aware of that, possibly. Who knows? But she kind of downplays the D in the beginning, and then once Cobra tells her Lily was a D as well, then she gets triggered and suddenly attacks Cobra, which I think is pretty wild. So I think there's something there. Again, just look at the parallels. They show Imu and Vivi in this chapter, and they're both in similar situations, both sitting on a chair. 5 devil fruit users or powerful, a powerful group is next to them. They're in a big room. Wapol just happens to be involved in both of their situations. Wapol saw the entire interaction between the Gorosei and Cobra, and then Wapol ends up saving Vivi. Too many parallels for me, man. Especially the devil horns of Bluno and the horns of St. J. Garcia Saturn. I think there is definitely something there. I think Imu Sama is Lily confirmed. Now, let's talk about Wapol. How did these guys, who we assume are powerhouses, right? How did they let Wapol escape, of all people? How did he get away? I personally think that sometimes, for the sake of story progression, villains need to be a little dumb sometimes. At least in crucial moments, the good guys need to get a win. And in this case, we got two. Sabo gets away and Wapol gets away. But personally, I think Wapol getting away is more valuable because Wapol saw the entire interaction. At least that's what's hinted, that he saw the entire conversation from beginning to end. Sabo only saw the last few seconds, so he probably heard a couple things, and then Cobra confirms some things, but I think that Wapol heard a little bit more, and his information is going to be very, very valuable to somebody like a Big News Morgan, who we now know is with Wapol and Vivi, so we might see a very, very wild headline coming very soon in the One Piece newspaper. So wait for that, ladies and gentlemen. This chapter was hype, very hype. Another thing that, obviously was Sabo fighting the Gorosei and Imu Sama, confirming that they are combatants, that they're not just some old heads that don't do anything and they can't fight. We get them all transforming into what seems to be like mythical zone fruit users, because they all seem like some crazy giant monsters, right? One of them seems like a minotaur, which seems like St. J. Garcia Saturn. The other one seems like some mythical bird, which is the guy with the pointy beard. The samurai guy is probably some like ancient Hito no Mi model Ryuma or something. I don't know. Who knows? But it looks like they all have some kind of mythical zone fruit. Something that I did see another YouTuber talk about is that on the page, the panel where Sabo is standing over Cobra's dead body, and all of them are transformed behind him, the guy in the center on the very top, that is not Imu Sama. That is the Gorosei, who looks very young, who people say is like Sanji's real father, which that's not true. I don't think so. But that's him. That's not Imu Sama. Imu Sama's somewhere else. But they are saying that because he's on the center and he's by the throne room, that's definitely Imu. But just count. There's 5 of them in that panel. So it wouldn't make sense that one of the Gorosei just disappeared and Imu Sama is there at the top. I think they're saving the Imu reveal for later, or at least his true shape. We do get a little hint of that when he swallows Sabo's flames, which gives me Pride vibes. Pride from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Have you guys seen that anime? It's this giant shadow creature who can turn into many different shapes and monstrous shapes, right? And he does some crazy stuff in that anime, and kind of gives me those vibes, right? Vibes of Pride, the homunculus. But again, very hype chapter, very epic. We get a lot of reveals. One of the big ones, again, Nefertari. Vivi's got a big D, and the whole world's about to find out. And you know what I'm calling right now? You want to know what my theory is? I think that Vivi is going to join the Straw Hats on the Thousand Sunny very, very soon. Probably within the next 10 chapters, right? I think that is probably why Yamato did not end up joining the Straw Hats, because we had Queen Vivi on the way, and the Straw Hats were going to get a third girl on the crew, and a fourth one, wouldn't have made sense so quickly. So I think Oda was like, I could have Yamato join and then Vivi soon after, but it's a little bit too much too quickly. I don't think people are going to be able to digest Yamato enough, especially with Egghead coming, especially with all these, jumps across the world coming. I think Oda had a plan for this final saga, and Yamato just didn't quite fit into these plans without the story suffering from bad pacing and things like that. So I love the way the story's going. I love the pacing, and I look forward to seeing Vivi, who has always been an unofficial Straw Hat, right? I see her joining the Thousand Sunny crew very, very soon. probably within the next 10 chapters. That's the chapter breakdown, guys. Again, you guys have read this chapter. You guys know everything, but do some of my points make sense to you guys? Do you think that Imu Sama is definitely Queen Lily? What do you think her devil fruit power is? Do you think that the Vivi and Lily parallels are there? The throne, the chair, the 5 elder stars, the 5 CP0 agents, right? I think there's too many parallels. The horns was a big one for me. Let me know if I'm looking too into it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and check out my other videos. I think you guys will find a real kick out of them. Take care, guys.